Okay, so the first WordPress plugin we're going to look at is this Mailchimp plugin by Ibiricode. That's how you pronounce it. This has been around for a while. It's got over 1 million installations. It's constantly kept up to date. So yeah, it's a trusted plugin pretty much. Now I haven't used this plugin for a long time. Let me enable it. I haven't used this plugin for a long time, so it'll be interesting to have a little look at it again. Okay, so the plugin, I've already actually installed it. If you know how to use WordPress, you know how to use plugins, just do a search for Mailchimp and you can find that one come up near the top. I think it always comes up first, to be honest. So the first one we've got, where are we? Mailchimp for WordPress by Ibiricode. So I'm just going to activate that one. Okay, so now we've got Mailchimp for WordPress over on the left-hand side here. Okay, so currently not connected, so we need to get the API key. So if you remember back to the API lesson, we go down to Account. Under Extras, go to API Keys. And I am literally just going to copy the top one. Copy. And I'm going to paste it here. Save. Okay, we are connected. Let's renew Mailchimp lists, and we've got one list, and that is what we are connecting to. Okay, so if we click on that, we can see the information that we are requesting of people, and we've got interest categories there as well. Okay, so if we want to create a form, let's give it a title. So let's call this Mailchimp plugin test 1. It's going to go to Lexiart. It's the only one we've got. Okay, so it's given us a warning here that currently the form is missing fields that are required in Mailchimp. Either add these fields to your form or mark them as optional in Mailchimp. So we need first name, last name. Okay, so what we've got here, this is the name of our form. This is the shortcode. Now, if you don't know what shortcode is, I'll show you in a minute. Now, this is where we configure our fields. So at the moment, it's literally just asking for our email address, as you can see in this preview at the bottom. And what we want to do is, as we can see, we've got an asterisk next to fields that are required. So we're going to add that one. It gives us a chance to put a placeholder in there, and that's what's in the input box when it's got no value. So when it's empty, it'll have the text that you have here. We're going to leave that blank for now. Initial value, so text to pre-fill this field with. So you wouldn't really want it on the first name thing, but if you wanted the text, if you wanted text already in there to start with, then people add to it, you put that in there as well. We haven't got the option of making it not required because it is required in Mailchimp. And wrap in paragraph tags. So what that will do is it will make sure that the other form goes underneath, like if it was a row of text, it would make it like a new paragraph of text underneath. So it'll put that form. It would definitely make sure that that form and that field and the next field go under each other. Okay. As we can see on the email address, we do actually we can't change that one. I don't think, yes we can. That's going to add it again. So the email one actually has your email address in the placeholder. So maybe we would want to change that one. We can't change it at the moment. Let's put the last name in. So last name, so placeholder, your surname. So I'll show you what it means, what it looks like, add to form. There we go, so your surname. Now what we've got here is a form preview. So as we can see, we've got the form preview. There's nothing we can really do in here because it does attempt to sign up and everything. But there's nothing we can really do in here to get rid of things. So this is where I find people do struggle with this plugin. Although it's a pretty decent plugin, you do have to kind of jump in here and start playing about with the form code. And this is HTML code. And it does actually depend where you leave your cursor as to where it puts the next field. For example, so I've left the cursor here. So this section here is just for the first name. That's a paragraph. And that's an end of a paragraph. That's a section for this last name, and that's a section for the email. So if I leave the cursor there and then go to the data use agreement, which I want, it's required. Choices, it's the only one. Choice type is radio buttons. Field label, yep, we're going to be happy with that. You can see it's put it where the cursor was left. Now, if I made a bit of a mistake about that, I don't want that. Don't want that there. I don't have the option of dragging, dropping, moving around, anything like that. What I actually have to do is then go to the HTML and start deleting bits. Now, if you don't know what you're doing here, you could find yourself in a bit of a muddle. So I'm just going to add it to the right area, okay, like so. Again, so if we made a mistake on this first name and we wanted to put the pre-filled text in, which we cannot just do here, we either jump into the HTML and work out what we need to do, which is, for this example, it's quite simple. We basically enter that text where it says placeholder. I'm going to copy that, just put it in front of required with a space, and then we're going to change surname to first name. There we go, and we've got that in. So what we've got here is, it's a bit of a mess. It makes it easy that it automatically puts the HTML code in for you, but it makes it really difficult to kind of move things around without knowing a little bit of code. Some of the things, so we've got the boxes aren't even. Again, if you know HTML, you could probably code that to sort it out, and you could probably get something really nice. But personally, what I'd have to do here is just start going in and changing a few things. So I'm going to make that end of a paragraph and put a new paragraph in. So it goes like that. And I'm going to copy that. Oh, just that bit there. I'm going to enter it there. Let's do the same with that one. Oh, and I missed out the last name, so I'll put it there. Like so. Makes it tidier. And I'm also going to do it after that one there. So makes it a little bit better, but then you've still got all this spacing in between. Maybe what we could do is break. That would be better. See, I've actually put that in the wrong place there. I need it there. And there. And there. That's better. So to get your form looking, reasonably nice, tidy, lined up, okay, you need to, you kind of need to know what you're doing in HTML. But yes, you can definitely get a tidy form. Now, when it comes to groups, so let's say we want to automatically put somebody into, let's go to the interests. So let's say this, no, let's not use that one, offers. So let's use this example of somebody's on a landing page and it's offering you the ultimate guide to doing exterior cleaning of a car. Now we've set this up in Mailchimp. We've gone over the examples of this using it in Mailchimp. We've set it up as a hidden field. And what we can do is enter the value that we want. So this one's only going to be related to exterior ebook, which is the bit I've highlighted there. Then you can see the group categories. Excuse me. The group categories are separated by this straight line, which is a fence post. So you basically enter the values of the categories you want people to automatically go into when they sign up. So I am going to just get rid of all that and just keep it on exterior ebook and add it to form. Okay, so see again, I've put that in the wrong place. I had the cursor in the wrong place. It doesn't really matter because it's not seen, so it doesn't really matter. It does it anyway, but it just keeps the code looking a bit of a mess. So I'm just going to cut that. Let's that paragraph. Let's be in there. That paragraph. See, I'm actually somewhere I've actually made a mistake here myself. See, it's really, really easy to kind of make a mistake. It's so easily done. If you don't know what you're doing, you know, it's just really that easy to just kind of mess it up and not know how to get it back. Okay, so I've got that hidden group in there. So anybody that signs up will automatically go into that exterior ebook. So I'm just going to save changes on that. Okay, so save the changes. Let's now, so you, just before I move on, these are all the things that we've got that we can add. So, you know, we are in our form. If I just go back to our form builder, audience, sign up forms, form builder. So you can see we are actually, these are all the things that we're asking. We are asking for address at some point. We are asking for phone number, website, obviously the data use agreement, the offers, which is hidden, and the interests and the course and things like that. So they are all the options that are available to you here. So there are some extra things as well. So agree to terms. And actually we can have a http lexiart.co.uk/privacy policy. No, privacy, that's what we call it. Is it required? Wrapping paragraph tags, we'll add that to the form. Again, I've not put the cursor in the right place in the HTML box, so this here, cut, and we're going to put it down just before the data use agreement. So what we can have in here is actually we don't need to use the data use agreement thing that we've set up in Mailchimp. You know, if we're not using Mailchimp landing pages or sign up forms, we don't actually have to have this, and we can use this one that's built into the Mailchimp for WordPress plugin, which is quite good. I actually quite like that. And the other great thing is it's clickable, and it will take people straight to the privacy policy page as well, which is good. So the data use agreement one that we've created is not clickable. We can make that clickable by putting href into the HTML code. Again, if you know how to do that, you can do that. But it's just difficult to work it out, and it's time consuming to have to type that. So we've got this handy little option here, which I quite like. So what I'd do is, if I was using that, I would actually get rid of the data use agreement one that we created in Mailchimp and have it like that, which is good. Form action, I'm not really sure what that is. Oh, so we can give them the options of subscribing or unsubscribing when they fill in their details as well, if you so wish. Options there if you like. List choice. Oh, so we can have, if we've got multiple lists on our accounts, we can let people choose which choice or which list, or as you know, in Mailchimp it's called audience, which audience they want to join in there. And then we've got the submit button, which is in place there. Again, if we want to change the name of that, we would have to go into the HTML code and type it in here. Like so. Okay, so I'm going to just save the changes. And let's look into other things. So we've got messages. So the messages, so things like when people have successfully subscribed, what message comes up. If people have put an invalid email address, what message comes up. If they've missed out a required field, what message comes up. If they've already subscribed, what message comes up. Now this is an issue with Mailchimp, that if somebody's already subscribed, then they can't resubscribe. So if you've got 3 offers and somebody's signed up and taken offer 1, they cannot then go to your landing page for offer 2 using some plugins, and they cannot subscribe. They cannot fill in the details again because they are already subscribed. This is the error message that they would get. Given email address is already subscribed, and then it wouldn't go through the process of trying to add them to your list again, in which case they would never get offer 2. Now, if you've got multi offers, if you've got 10, 20 offers, there's a likelihood that you're trying to entice people in, and they're going to take you up on 1 or 2 offers. And you'd probably encourage them to take them up on a few offers as well. If somebody's struggling with something, who signed up for offer 1, and you know that offer 3 can benefit them, then you could send them to offer 3 landing page and say, look, this is really going to help you. And by doing that, you're helping them out and hoping to turn them into a paying customer or client. But if you're using this, they're not going to be able to take you up on that extra offer. So that's an issue that I find with quite a lot of areas. So we're going to have this issue with embedded code. You're going to have this issue with, if you use the basic sign-up form, you're going to have that issue. You're going to come across an issue with Mailchimp landing pages themselves, because although it won't give you an error, it'll just stall the process. People won't get the things. Sometimes I've found in my experience with landing pages, Mailchimp landing pages, it does eventually manage to process the automation following it, but it's not immediate. And people are expecting it immediately, and you might start getting people that are complaining to you that they haven't had the offer that they've requested of you. Sometimes it won't work, sometimes it will work. It seems to be a bit hit and miss depending who you are. But certain plugins allow you to actually update existing subscribers rather than trying to resubscribe new subscribers. So some plugins recognize when somebody's already subscribed, and instead of trying to subscribe them again, they update their subscriber instead, and then it still allows them to go through the process, which is really, really good. Anyway, these are all your messages. I'm just going to save it. We're not making any changes, but we're going to save it anyway. Let's look at the settings. So it subscribes to LexiArt. Use double opt-in. Now, we haven't got currently double opt-in turned on our Mailchimp account. But what we can do is we can still enforce double opt-in via the plugin, which will tell Mailchimp to do a double opt-in, and then it will try and confirm people's email addresses. I'm going to say no to this. we now do have this update existing subscribers in this plugin. So we can actually select yes, and like it says, select yes if you want to update existing subscribers with the data that is sent. So great, we can do that. I really, really like that. Replace interest groups. So as we went through the groups, when somebody subscribes, I like to put them into a group. So offer one, if I had groups, I'd add groups for offer one, offer two, offer three. And then when somebody subscribes on landing page for offer one, they go into group for offer one. When somebody subscribes for landing page two, they go into group offer two. Now, if they go into, if they sign up for offer one, go into group one, and we have this replace interest groups active for offer two, then when they subscribe for offer two, it's going to take them out of group one and put them into group two. Make sense? Now, generally, depending on what your, how you decide to do this, I'd probably say you want to replace this off. If you do want to move them out of a group for any reason, I'd probably do that within Mailchimp automation itself. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want, when somebody opts in for offer two, I don't want it to take them out of offer one, because if I then send an email out in the future saying, look, I want people to sign up more for offer one, like, did you know I've got this free service? I want to exclude people who've already taken offer one by excluding the people, excluding people in that group. So I want them to be in offer one still, and I want them to be in offer two as well. So I don't want them to replace, I just want them to update. So if they sign up for offer two and they're already in offer one, then it puts them in offer two as well, and they're in two groups. And then if they sign up for offer three, they're in three groups, they're in offer three as well. Okay, makes sense? Another great feature, this has actually been updated since I last looked at it. Another great feature is we can actually subscribe a tag, so we can actually give them a tag. So if this was offer two, we can actually tag them with offer two as well. So I'm going to call this the exterior ebook, and that's going to be the tag. And we can use multiple tags as well by separating with a comma. So I'm just going to leave it as that one tag for now, and I'll take a little look when we sign up. Okay, hide the form after a successful sign up. So what you're going to see on your page, on your blog post, whatever, you're going to see this form, and then when somebody subscribes, if you have the hide the form turned on, it's just going to hide the form from the page, and they're not going to. It's going to be like the page has disappeared. Now, depending how you design your page, you may want that to be shown all the time, just because of the design aesthetics of the page. Sometimes if somebody subscribes and then the form disappears and it just looks like there's something missing, it can look a bit odd. But if it was in the footer of a page or a blog post, then yeah, it could disappear, and just it's not going to look aesthetically a bit silly. Generally, I usually have that turned off anyway. And usually I make sure there's a thank you page set up, so they're not going to see that page that they're on anyway. It's going to take them to a thank you page, which is the next setting. And if you do have a thank you page, you put the URL in there, and it's going to forward people to that page. Enable Google reCAPTCHA. So that's the one to stop the bots signing up on your page. It can happen. You can get a lot of spam bots coming to your website and signing up, just trying to get onto your list and start penetrating you with sales stuff and things like that. So you can get that. So you might want to turn on the Google reCAPTCHA, and that's just basically proving that you're human by either ticking a checkbox, or you get that grid where it says, pick the images that has signposting, you're going to select them all, and once you've passed that, it'll continue the process and let you on the list. So I'm just going to save the changes on that. Appearance. Okay, form style is generally going to inherit the form style from your theme, from whatever your theme you're using on your WordPress. It's going to inherit the form from that. But there are different options from like basic, light, dark, red, green, blue. So if I click on basic, yeah, does that change it? I can't remember now. No, let's just change it to light and save. And fields, yeah. So you can see the button's colour has changed now from black to white, but it's light. If I go in and do, let's say, a red theme, I'm going to presume this does a red button. Let's just save the changes. And go to fields. And yeah, we've got a red button. So we do have some very, very limited design options available to us. And we can upgrade with the styles builder. I've never actually looked at that. I might take a little nosy at that in a minute. Yeah, it's a premium feature, so that's where you're going to have to pay for. Obviously, if you know a bit of coding and you want to style it a bit better, then you can type in the HTML code in this window to you know, do what you need to do. That's all the settings and the form set up. So that's one form. Do you want to create more than one form? Our premium add-on does just that. So look at all the premium benefits. Yeah, so we are limited to just one form in this plugin, which is a bit disappointing, really, but that's the way it is. So if you don't know how shortcodes work, we can basically copy the shortcode. What I'm going to do is go to the page, I'm just going to edit this page, and we can basically paste that shortcode into a text box. If you're using the older WordPress before the Gutenberg eras, I'm not sure what version it is, you can basically select the text box and insert the code there. With the Gutenberg version, there is a shortcode widget that you can insert, and if you're using a builder, again, you can just use a text box, or if there's a HTML section or something like that, you can basically use that. So I'm just going to put that in there. Oops. Yeah, that's my builder. We're going to add short code, and then literally paste the code instead of the short code and update that. And now let's go and view the page. Okay, so there is your sign-up form. Quite neat, quite tidy. You know, if you do want to change things, sort of colors, widths, position, you are going to start looking at more advanced options in WordPress. Possibly using builders. I like to use Elementor Builder, or I've used Themify in the past, but I'm starting to prefer Elementor Builder. And we've got a lot more design sort of functions available to us in WordPress. So we can put these into sort of blocks that we can move about and realign, and it makes it a lot easier rather than relying on the Gutenberg editor. But as you can see, you've got a reasonably tidy form there. And obviously you could go on and then build the rest of your landing page in Mailchimp, giving all the information out that you need to give out. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to put in, when I do sign up, I want to make sure that A, I go into a group in Mailchimp, and B, I am tagged in Mailchimp as well. And we'll take a look at that in a minute. Just going to spell my name deliberately incorrectly, just to identify myself out of all the others on the lists. And I am going to give myself a yeah, so I'm going to agree to the terms and conditions, and I'm going to opt in. Okay, so there's the standard thank you, your sign up request was successful. Please check your email inbox to confirm. So if I now go to audience, I'm going to open another tab, so let's leave that one open. View contacts. There we are. Marky Lely, that's me. That's who I signed up for. And excellent, I am in the group under offers of Exterior ebook, and I have a tag called Exterior ebook. So that has worked absolutely fantastic. The source is the API because the plugin communicates via the Mailchimp API. So yeah, that's wonderful. That works a treat. And what we could do now is, when we get to it, we can create an automation. We can target people either by entering a group or when they get tagged. I prefer to target people when they enter a group. I find it's a bit easier to use. So when somebody enters that group, I can have them get an email, and that can contain the offer, for the ebook that we're offering to our people. So that is the plugin for the Mailchimp for WordPress by Ibericode.